I'm in Red Clay finally in Jena, which is also in Tamale, and we're about to take a tour of the facility. Very interesting things I can tell you to expect. And I'm here with David, who is going to be our tour guide today. Charlie David, how far?
Yeah, cool.
Nice. So, first question.
Yeah.
Why the name Red Clay?
Okay, so Red Clay, Ibrahim actually got inspired by a certain Senegalese musician called Youssou N'Dour, who sang a song titled Red Clay. And then there's a part of that particular song that actually inspires Ibrahim, or better still has the same vision like he has for this particular space here in Tamale. Yeah, so that's why he named it Red Clay. And aside that, look at the material he uses, it's a bit closer to the color red, and then that's why he named it Red Clay.
Interesting. So how long has this place been in existence?
Publicly, it's been about 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
But originally, he just built it as accommodation for himself, and also a personal studio where he stays, then he produces his work. But as time went on, the idea of expanding, where he didn't want his art to be just a commodity where he sells it to make the money, but he wanted to have a lifespan in his space, where he decided to bring it all the way back to his home, Tamale, and Jena to be specific, where he started, and then eventually expanded it, and now it's open to everybody to come just for free. Yes.
Okay. I hear you don't have to pay to come here.
No.
Why?
Or I would say you are following his orders in a way, because he feels that if he puts a fee to it, he's mostly centered on the kids or the younger ones, such that they come to know about their history and learn about their history as well. Know also what art really is. So he's saying that what if I put, let's say, let's assume a CD, and then a kid wants to come who has like half of that amount. Indirectly, you are depriving the person.
Yeah.
But because I am grown and I can afford one CD, I can come anytime I want.
Yeah.
So he wants that whether you can afford it or not, please just come.
So he's focused on the next generation.
Yes. Because even if you build up an institution like this and no one visits it, then your vision it has failed already. But the fact that people are visiting is actually what he actually.
Okay, so what we can see now are some kids that just finished the tour and they are on their way back. There is quite a number of them. There will be more coming. Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody at all can just come in.
Anybody.
Your only cost to find your way to this place.
Find your way.
That's it. And you guys are ready to take the person on the tour of the facility. Interesting. What's the size, the land size of this place? Do you have an idea?
So initially, he just bought about 2 acres for, like I said, for his accommodation and his studio, and then now he has about 100 acres or so. Yeah.
Okay. So those are some of the children on their way back after the tour. Interesting. They're excited.
Yeah.
They're excited.
So he has about 100 acres.
Wow.
Which was bought later on when he started to expand. So actually where we are standing on now is not part of his plot initially.
Oh, okay.
All of this is part of the expansion of his personal studio in Red Clay. Yeah.
Wow. That means there is more to come.
Yes, a lot.
There is more to come. So is there any part of the place that is still under construction, or like more is being added currently as we speak?
Yes, he funds everything by himself. So when he's working on a project, he makes sure he works side with quality, not just for today but the future as well. So he takes time, and also look at the material he uses. It takes a lot of time to complete a structure. So we have some he's still working on, which are basically around the space. Some are going to be residency, some are going to be accommodation, exhibition centers as well. In the future, we'll have an art university just across the road where the railway lines are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's an artist, so he changes his mind as time goes on.
Exactly.
So, yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So what should I expect on this tour?
I would say expect to learn about your history first of all, and know what art really is, because this is now contemporary art.
Okay.
Back then, art was basically you need to draw with a pencil or paint with a brush, but now art has gone beyond that.
Wow.
It depends on the stories you tell about what you're producing, the effort that has gone into the production of that particular work, and also the memories that the materials you've used have actually picked along the way. Because Ibrahim is an artist who appreciates everybody, no matter how little you work for him. Yeah. He will carry wherever he is going around the world, and he will definitely tell people about your efforts, trying to help him in your little way to achieve his dreams as an artist here in Tamale.
Okay. All right. So enough of the talk. We'll now walk inside, and we'll take a look at the things we'll find inside. So okay, so welcome back. We are now inside a building. I would not attempt to name it, so I would ask David. So David, what is this place called?
It's called Ajimawose Hall.
Ajimanosei Hall.
Yes.
Who is Ajimanosei?
He was one of the early artists Ibrahim worked with.
Okay.
When he was starting the space here.
Okay.
So they kind of at least appreciate, because they've worked so many years being an artist, and it looks like when they get to a certain age, some of their artworks are not even known by people around. So he was trying to unearth all of their potential.
Is he alive?
Artists. Yeah.
Wow.
Sure. Yeah.
What
but,
a way.
definitely he was very old. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Has it been here?
I would say after the exhibition. No, not really.
Oh, okay. All right, nice. So please take us away. What do we see here?
I would say that I've been talking. I just want to acknowledge the owner of the space, who is Ibrahim Mahama, a visual artist, and just to clear all the thoughts in our minds. It's not actually he's not related to Job Mahama in any way.
Yes, that was part of the questions I was going to ask.
Yes.
Yes.
He's not related to Job Mahama in any way, so he's solely into art, nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's where he gets the money to fund all of these large spaces for us. Yeah. So just at my right hand side, we have medical stretchers.
Medical stretchers?
Yes.
Are they from Ghana?
No. Well, some of the materials are. Yes. So we have the original one from Greece, which Ibrahim was studying and he bought, looking at the history aspect and also artistic aspect as well, because he sees these fabrics to be like canvases, where in art you need to paint something like a landscape or portrait on.
Okay.
But here, because of what the materials are used for, they pick stains along the way. So the original ones were used to pick up injured soldiers or dead soldiers. So they basically have blood stains from men, maybe sweat and maybe urine of militiamen and women stained on them. And he feels that these materials are painted in a way. Yeah, so he also went around the country here in Ghana to collect some materials that are used for daily activities, like fishmongers and also mechanics. So these women usually buy second-hand bed sheets, and then they use that to cover their barrels once they smoke fish.
Okay.
And then looking at how often, because that's basically the only job that they have. So looking at how often they use it, smoke from the firewood and oil from the fish will definitely stain it, where it gives a very dark color. In an abstract way, the material has been painted, but not with a brush or color, because of the kind of jobs that we do. He also feels that these kind of jobs are like battles, comparing that to the Second World War, that these men or women have to fight every day just to make an income for themselves. Yeah. And then the mechanics usually use these banners to lay on the floor. So it's like, let's say, tiles for their workshop once they work on the people's motors and cars. So eventually oil from the motor as well will stain it. And sometimes you can lay on the floor for like years without them replacing it. People dragging their feet, jacking of motors, jacking of cars. All of that causes wear and tear to the material. Where because of the kind of job that they do, the oil usually when they are changing it becomes very dark. So it gives the material a very dark color.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can come closer and look at some of these ones, which are the originals. So anyone looking similar to this is actually an original from the Second World War. And
Second World War.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Then we have the darker materials like these ones, used by the mechanics, others by fishmongers as well. Yeah.
So the ones from the World War probably have the blood of some soldiers that may have died.
Yeah, I think you can come this way. We have one here, which is actually, blood stains of the militiamen. This is actually a lot, but I would say this is all that is left of them.
Wow.
After the war, because if you look at history, our British picked most of our military men as well from the Gold Coast to go and fight for them.
Yeah.
They promised homes or houses, money, clothes, but after nothing was given.
So
they're trying to ask for what they promised, but along the way they got killed.
Yes.
So
that's a bit of our history. The 28th February shooting and all of that. Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why he actually acquired it. Because when this man in Greece acquired it, he was using it for older versions of military movies, like props.
Okay.
And then he was studying, and because of the artistic and the history relationship he has, because of where he's coming from, he decided to acquire them. It might have been very expensive, but he sees that art is not just a commodity. You can invest a lot into it by looking at the future, not just today but tomorrow.
I mean, this is a good preservation of history because I mean, when you enter here, you and after you are told this story, you would understand that yes, this is World War II. Wow. Okay. Where are we going next?
So we're looking at the boxes.
The famous shoemaker boxes.
Yeah, we have a very large installation, which is titled the non-orientable in cancer.
The what?
Non-orientable.
Non-orientable
in cancer. So in cancer there is a name
of
usually he's like a shoemaker boy, and also like someone who actually accused Ibrahim, because when Ibrahim was collecting his boxes in 2016, it was an election year.
Okay.
So Nkansa actually felt Ibrahim was making these boxes, trying to give to the Togolese people or citizens to come into the country as Ghanaians to come and vote, just maybe in order to increase population or something like that. So it was like an accusation. But Ibrahim was collecting this, looking at the kind of jobs that they do, and looking at the kind of shape that they make these boxes into, because he sees them as small homes for their tools and materials, which give them their daily bread every day. And he sees that all of that effort also involves a lot of stress, a lot of labor, where he's trying to tell that story about that form of labor as well. Because just like most of us sit in our air-conditioned offices, drive our air-conditioned cars. These are like their cars, these are like their offices.
And they keep a lot in there.
Yes, a lot.
Anything you need, they will find it for you in there.
Sometimes they don't have home, so they keep their towels, their basic necessary items in there. Or sometimes it becomes so heavy. So they find a unit where they sit, where you go to them as a customer. But those with the smaller boxes are able to hang it around their shoulders like ladies' bags, and they're able to cover a lot of areas within the day. So most of them were collected, and then he makes, so it's like a form of exchange. He makes a new box. I come to you, take your old box, give you a new box. You can continue with your business.
So how many years of what's the name shoemaker box collection is this?
Or how many years, that we are not really sure, because maybe most of them might have started even before 2016. But his interest came into it in 2016, and that's when he started collecting it. Usually he works with a lot of people, I would say tons of people, collaborators, so he can't do everything by himself, even if he's part of it, but at a point he has to involve people to help him out with it.
Wow. And then I see a fire armory.
Yes.
What's the story behind that?
So it was the interior part of a factory called the Gihok, built by Kwame Nkrumah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So he had 3 divisions: the paint division, pharmaceutical division, and also alcoholic division. But along the way, the paint division went out of service, and then Ibrahim actually bought the interior aspect of this particular factory and used it as like a storeroom for the boxes to be collected to. And also, he found out some of the wooden structures that were left inside, which he collected, brought in carpenters, and they reproduced copies or replica of the boxes he collected from the shoemakers in Accra and Kumasi.
Where is the factory?
I think this is in Accra also.
Wow. Interesting. But are you able to tell or even guess how many shoe boxes are you?
We say it's about the exact number we don't know. It's about like 4,000 of the boxes.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you still add more?
No. This is just a complete version.
Wow.
But maybe in the future it might be taken down where we can just unscrew them, because there's actually a massive structure holding all the boxes to itself.
I was going to ask.
Preventing all of them from falling off. So that's how come. So even if I shake it a bit, it doesn't
it's
affect.
Solid. Yeah. And there are some interesting writings on some of them. I see 27 Jesus on this one. And then there's some iced tea. Iced tea.
Yeah, iced tea.
So those are like
crates.
Okay.
Yeah, so these ones are crates used by fishermen to transport their fish from the seashore all the way to the market for sale.
Wow.
And then I'm sure you'll be wondering why these ice kits are also up there.
Yes.
So they usually get mixed up with other sneakers from Europe. But here in the country or Africa, we can't skate. So fishermen buy them looking at the quality of the metal. They take it off. Then they sharpen it, becomes a knife. And they use that to cut their fish. Yeah. So that's why, because fishing is like another form of labor business.
Yeah. And what is this?
Yeah, so most of these are used by these shoemakers, like dolls or toys, to actually make their boxes attractive. And also, he added some of them because most of our audiences here are kids, just like we saw earlier, kids. So even they are not able to understand what the box or what you are actually saying. But looking at the dolls or the toys that are part of the work, will actually draw them to come closer and look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it caught my attention. So, and I see some old slipper. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. This is nice. This is nice. Okay. So from here, where do we go to?
Yeah. So we have a section we usually call the identity section.
Identity section.
Yes, because everything here has to do with identity.
Okay.
And then we have, first of all, the arms of women who usually tattoo their names, the towns they are from, maybe their house numbers.
Oh yes, this happens a lot in my village.
Yes.
Yeah, they write the name. Some of you write the box number.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Because back then, phones were not so common.
Yes.
Like we have now. ID cards were not so common. So this was basically their way of leaving identities on their bodies. It's like that even if they are no more, but their bodies will still keep that identity.
Yes.
And they can use that to find their way back home.
Wow.
Yeah. So most of them do it just in case they're traveling. Others do it because they're traveling to the southern part of the country to carry people's items for money.
Yeah.
So usually these women use these sacks called the jute sacks.
Yes.
But they're usually produced in Bangladesh, in India.
The jute sacks are produced in Bangladesh.
Yeah. So they only come into the country through the Ghana Cocoa Board.
Yes.
So without Ghana Cocoa Board, you can't buy them. Yeah. So when they get into the country, they are used for bagging of cocoa beans first, where these sacks are labeled Ghana Cocoa Board, produce of Ghana.
Yeah.
Taken and given to the cocoa farmers. Then after everything is done, they bag the cocoa inside the sacks.
Okay.
Carry them all the way to the ports. And the funny thing or the interesting thing is that the sack cannot leave the country anymore.
Okay.
Because it's not like it's not usable anymore. So they pour these cocoa beans into containers.
Yeah.
Then they are shipped all the way to Europe. And then these sacks are not reused again. Because the Ghana Cocoa Board doesn't want the next batch of cocoa beans that are yet to be nursed or harvested to have infection from the previous one, just in case.
Okay.
So they sell them out to traders, and then these men and women use them for food items like rice, onion, pepper, ginger. Others basically buy it for charcoal purposes, where after it's used for charcoal, it becomes a waste material or a rag. It cannot be reused again, but Ibrahim is actually interested in it because looking at memories, this is produced locally by men and women in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
He feels that these materials speak memories from Bangladesh, from the Ghana Cocoa Board to traders, and then eventually charcoal is the last product that he carries.
Yeah.
And then after it fails, but he sees that there's more life to the material, and then he picks it up, puts them up together like a large cloth, which he used that to cover a lot of buildings around the world. And then in return, the failure that we actually saw that wasn't so valuable anymore, it's actually the failure you are standing in today. Because that failure in the end ends up giving him something like capital, which he uses not to spend on himself, but he puts up all of these spaces because he's thinking about his kids and also the kids that are yet to be born, or even the kids that are already existing today. It's like that they have a place where they can call their home of art. And it's like that his artworks will also have a home of its own, where you don't have to travel out there to go and see his work, but he can have a version of it here in Tamale. Yeah.
Interesting. I think Ibrahim is keen on preserving memories because the what's the name?
Medical stretcher.
The medical stretcher, the shoe boxes, and all of this. There's one thing that runs through all of them, that is preserving the memories of the people who use them and all of that, and keeping them alive. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. So where do we go next?
We have a drawing here. So this is a charcoal drawing.
Okay.
It actually depicts something related to our colonial masters back then in Gold Coast. And also talks about labor and slavery as well. So back then, Gold Coast was divided into just two territories, the northern and the southern territory. And down south, there are a lot of minerals down there. And that's why the British settled there more as compared to the northern part, where all the railway systems were built down there, but the manpower or the machines that actually built were taken from the north in the form of strong men. Because according to history, we had a lot of giants. No offense to the southern people, but we had a lot of giants down here in the north, very strong as well. So they come here purposely for these men to go and work for the British. And Ibrahim feels that all of that effort that these men had to put in was left in the form of an object, which is the trains we have outside. So he sees that, let me find a way to bring back their effort, their hard labor back to their people in the north. And then he brought these men from Tamale, our current Tamale, from the gyms here in Ghana, in Tamale, to look at their muscular bodies, compare them to the kind of men that the British would be interested in. Because those of us with the low muscular bodies doesn't catch the attention or the interest of these British people. So they come for only the strong men. So that's why he put up all of this, trying to cast our minds back in time to probably have a picture of the kind of men that the British will pick here to go and work for them down south. So this is
these are actual people that were painted.
Yeah, it was drawn.
Wow.
Yes. So we have trains as part of the work, which the whole piece is called a collage, because it's not just on paper, but there are other components brought together, which a drawing is done on. We have maps from the southern part for the background. We have a lot of comments that this particular gentleman looks like Michael Asian.
He's what?
He looks like Michael Asian.
Yes, the footballer.
But he's just another gym guy from Tamale here.
Wow. Interesting. Beautiful. Okay, where next?
So look at this section. So we're actually celebrating the 95th birthday of James Bano.
Oh yes, the photographer.
Yeah, the photographer. So
nice.
He was here in the month of June.
Yes.
Just for us to be able to celebrate him, because after he worked in the country in the 70s, close to the 80s, he settled back in the UK. And then because of the exhibition, he was able to find his way back to his home. So he was commissioned in the 70s to take these pictures for Ajib. It was an Italian brand selling petrol and also gas in the country. But later on, the government bought it, and which is now converted to Guelph Fuel Station now.
Oh,
yes. So before the 70s, there wasn't color in the country, but because he had to study color in the UK in the late 60s, he returned in the 70s, and that's when he was given this commission to take these shots for Ajib. So we are celebrating him, like I said, and we decided to exhibit some of his works here. It's like that we can appreciate the handwork of James. And then we have, in most of the pictures, we have the steam engines, which was used by the British back then as their means of carrying goods like minerals from the mines all the way to the ports. And then after the 60s, most of these engines were destroyed and sold as scrap. And then we have just the headlights now, which we'll find in the archives when we visit later. We have this car, the Cadet, which was James's means of transportation. Whenever he had to travel around the country to take pictures for people or for companies. Then we have some of the Ajib cars, which basically carry their fuel around the country as well.
Nice. And I see a wall of fabrics.
Yes.
What's the story behind this?
So in 2019, Ibrahim was invited to Manchester to exhibit as part of the Manchester International Festival. Which that particular festival only exhibits new works, like brand new works. It doesn't matter the material, but the work must be new and the first ever to be seen by people. So he was trying to get his idea about what a painting actually was. Was it just a matter of using a brush with color to paint a landscape or a portrait? And then he decided to venture into fabrics, which he got inspired by an artist called Yinka Shonibare. He's a Nigerian British artist who uses a lot of fabrics to talk about colonialism and others as well. So he decided to put it up like this with different patterns, with the Dutch wax print, and also to remind us of how we got it to the country, or West Africa now. It's part of our daily activities or our life now. So because of the evolving of the whole world and also migration of these Dutch people, some of these fabrics found their way into West Africa. And then here in Ghana, currently we have companies like GTP, ATL, printing our own kind of fabrics. But the idea is that he wants to remind us of how we got this.
Is that what they call Holland?
Yeah, the Hollandese sometimes, yes, those ones. Most of our women actually give names to them. Where I was told that this talks about is it kill me and fly away or something like that. There's another visitor who told me that it's related to the Japanese culture, where there are the ghosts of the birds flying through the window. So I think there are names for each fabric. So I think the woman will be able to help us with the names, because
Yeah,
they use it
yeah.
more.
I
as
mean, they all
compared-
have names.
Yes.
They will definitely have names.
Yeah.
Wow. Very colorful.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's actually a larger piece, but here at Red Clay, we are actually managing with the space we have.
Yes.
And then that is why this is smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we done in here?
Yeah.
Before we go out, the material used to put this building up. Tell me something about it.
Okay. So this is fired bricks.
Okay.
But in the raw state, they are usually just normal clay, which are made in a certain dimension,
Yeah.
such that it can suit the building of structures. But looking at the material, after it's produced, basically, let me just start. So the clay is washed, and I'm sure if you research later, you're able to understand the washing I'm talking about. So you need to wash the clay to take off all the impurities.
Okay.
Take, let's say, stones, pieces of glasses. Then you sieve it, so the fine particles stay. Then eventually it becomes very solid again. Then you can use that to produce these bricks.
Okay.
So after it's allowed to dry, and then eventually when it's bone dry, where there's no more water content in they are fired. So they are
Okay.
put in a kiln. A kiln is like an oven,
Okay.
firing at a very high temperature.
Okay.
Then after they are made, like, let's say, very solid or penetrable in a way where no matter what hits it, whether it's rain, whether it's snowing, whatever, no matter the season or weather, the material is able to contain or endure. And also it's also a way of reducing the heat in the interior part of the building.
Okay.
Just like a barrier between the heat and also from the outside and what is in there. So usually the interior of these spaces are usually a bit cooler, even though we don't use air conditioning here, but they're a bit cooler as compared to when you're outside.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we are done with what's the name of the building again?
Ajima will say.
Ajiman Osei building. Okay. So we are going to move into another. So see you in the next part of the tour. Thank you. Okay. So David, we are in another building. What is this space called?
So this is called our archives.
Okay.
Yeah, so we keep a lot of very historical items, and probably some of the items that we've used before that we have a newer version of it today that we're using. But Ibrahim's idea is that he doesn't want us to forget where we started from.
Yeah.
As people that use some of these items before, because sometimes we usually forget that we started from somewhere, and what we have today is actually where we started from.
Yeah.
So he wants us to always have access to our past and also pick ideas that we can use in a positive way in our present or probably in the future as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the first piece you are showing us?
Yeah, so this is the jet or the turbine engine of an aeroplane, donated to him from the other Ibrahim Mahama, the business stroke politician.
Okay.
Yes. Saying that this is his way of contributing to our Ibrahim Mahama, the artist, work as an artist here in the northern part. Yeah.
So this is a jet engine.
Yes. Yeah.
Never seen one.
So yeah.
I mean, never seen one this close, like getting so close to.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's one of the reasons why Ibrahim changes the idea behind museums or galleries. So this Red Clay isn't a museum. It's his open studio.
Yeah.
Where he don't only produce his works, he exhibits and he keeps
people's
and has archives as well. So yeah. But this is actually here to inspire us to actually achieve our own dreams in life, because this is actually someone's idea and it's working perfectly for a lot of people around the world.
Yeah.
A means of transportation. So probably you can also look at this and it can inspire you to also produce something, or your life alone can also be something that can live for a long time.
Yeah.
Just to impact positively on people.
Yeah. Nice. So what's the next?
So we have up here some musical instruments. So most of these were used by the military back then.
Okay.
Yeah. So he actually acquired them from the scrap dealers in Accra. Yeah.
Wow. The scrap dealers should become artists, man. Because they have a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes they get most of these things easier as compared to him being an artist. Because the government will not end up selling some of these things to him.
Yes, when he shows up and he wants to, they will say that, okay, he sees value in it.
Yes.
But the scrap dealer, he's going to destroy it. Let's give it to him.
Yeah. Then in this section we have our northern culture, which we call the smokes. Some call it the batakari.
Okay.
So these were usually produced by our local women back in the day. So they harvest the cotton from the cotton trees, produce them into threads where they are woven into fabrics, then eventually sewn into the smoke. So look at the quality of it and what we have today. there's a vast difference, because most of these were mostly produced and dyed here in the country, but lately we import most of these fabrics from other parts of the world, where sometimes with the first wash it begins to fade off or something like that. Yeah. So the quality of this and what we have today, it's so different. Yeah. So Ibrahim is looking at that culture or that craftsmanship behind the production of the smokes, and also to look at the spiritual aspects of it, because most of our local rulers, they wait for protection. Yeah. Others were side that if a local gun is shot at them, it doesn't work. Yeah. So they wait so much that it dies off during the process, and then they keep it aside because they feel that because of their sweat and odor, they have a spiritual bond with it. Yeah. So they keep it somewhere very safe. Then they pick another new set of smokes and they wear. So before Abraham actually collected them, most of them were they detached their bodies from them by performing ritual, somehow to spit on them, pee on them, just so that they can leave it as a main material and they give it out to Ibrahim. So they are dated 100 years, close to 200 years old. Nice. Yeah. Then this object here is like a safe or like a bag for mostly our women back in the day. So it's mostly for keeping their expensive jewelry or clothing in there. Wow. Yeah. So in case maybe her husband goes for shopping and buys something expensive, she doesn't want people to actually steal it, because the idea is that you look at this, you feel there's nothing in there. Yeah. Because it's just an object, but it's actually something very expensive, even than the object itself. Yeah. Hidden in there. So yeah. So in the local dialect, it's called the panjwa.
The what?
Panjwa.
Panjwa.
Panjwa. Some call it the takjao. So it's like a safe or a bag for women. Okay. Yeah. Then looking down here, we have a group of gramophones. Yeah. Oh. So most of us we are not fortunate to see this in person in a way. Yeah. So we only have the chance of seeing it on TV. Yeah. So sometimes I feel like he's making our dreams come true. Wow. As an artist.
So all of these are
they're all gramophones.
Interesting.
And then this, like I said, the panjwa is from the northern part. Yeah. This is from the southern part. Or kings and queens, the jewelry box.
Yeah, they keep their expensive jewelry in there. Yeah. Nice.
And then they might even prefer hiding their gold maybe down here, because it looks like it's still a secret part of the whole box.
When you see, you wouldn't know that there's another compartment there.
Yes. So earlier in Ajimo sale hall, I mentioned about the Gehok paint division. So these are some Carl's invoices from this particular division that Ibrahim collected. Most of these were almost bent. Some were used to serve roasted yam or groundnut of food. But he's seen that.
Is there writing in it?
Yeah. It's just that it's not so because of the.
But I can see Ghana standard board. Yeah. So that should be Ashanti region.
Yeah. They have to at least retrace them back so that we can have a look at.
Wow.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Sales something. Roofing, paint, green, cleaner.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he's keeping all of this, looking at the failures in the economy.
Yeah. I like the way you are taking your time to open it.
Yes, it's more than just a paper.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Then we have here more archival material. So we have an old version of a clock up there. Yeah. A telephone, which now most of these have become mobile phones today.
Yes.
Yeah. A flower vase where you could just put in soil, put in your flowers, and then you can grow. We have a mini stove. So this uses kerosene, where you pump it, it shoots up the kerosene, and then with a lighter, you can use it for cooking or something. Wow. So probably during the military. The military will use this for maybe coffee. Okay. So it has a tray stance like our gas cylinders today. Yeah. Where this is placed on top, then you can heat water or use it for coffee. Yeah. But now we have all of this advanced to gas cylinders today. Yes. Yeah. Then this is for metal fabrication. Okay. Where it's used to put two metals together in your workshop. Now everything has been advanced to something better now. We have one of our very familiar games back in the day, the Owari game, the popular name in Ghana. Yes. But here in Tamale we call it the Wale.
Wale.
Okay. Yeah. Even the northern part, some call it kibi. Like we have kibis in Gonja. So each tribe actually has a name for it, but some it's not actually part of them. It's not part of their culture, so they don't play. We have the bin balance for checking operating items. Also a symbol of justice.
Yes.
Yeah. For our lawyers. Yeah.
Wow.
Then taking us back to school.
Yes, now this I can relate with. I use this.
Yeah, the box iron.
I use it. My mother is a seamstress, so yes, we used to. It's usually painful when you are asked to now go and get charcoal, put this in, wait for it to be hot, and if you don't take care, it doesn't have the temperature regulation. You can bend things very easily.
Melt all your things. Yeah. And then we have these sections as hunter's lamps, where carbide and water is poured in here. Then when you axe, it forms gas. Then with a lighter, they put it on, then they tie it to the forehead. So usually
people are carrying carbide and on their forehead.
Yes.
Wow.
Because they didn't have our new headlamps or flashlights, so they had to manage whatever they had just so they could survive. Because most of these men basically fed and clothed themselves through the animals that they hunted or they killed. Where they get clothes from the leather and also food from their flesh as well.
Wow.
And then we have a headlight of a train.
The one you spoke about.
The one I spoke about earlier.
That is big.
Yeah. So this could even cover, let's say, 1 kilometer. Because the railway lines, they don't have speed bumps, so they just keep going.
Yeah.
They'll reduce the speed or increase the speed. Yeah. We have more lights for the trains as well. Okay. Yeah. And then future plans, we have a moving train here at Red Clay. They actually arrived, but there are still some parts that need to be fixed up so that we can actually have it moving.
Yeah.
We have some of our old traveling bags or suitcases. Sometimes we call them trunks.
So people move around with this?
Yeah, sometimes we put them on 2 sticks where we have 2 people holding each end like the stretchers. So they carry it. Yeah. And sometimes some keep it in their homes for expensive items of the family. It's like that in case they have, let's say, a cultural activity, each person comes to pick a particular fabric or jewelry, goes for the activity, comes back, and they put it in there, and it's locked. Yeah.
Wow.
Then, in relation with the medical stretchers, we have a safety helmet, or a military helmet from the Second World War.
Is that metal?
Yeah, but later in the Second World War, because we have a German sticker in there, which basically translates the adjustment of the leather. Yeah. But most Germans say, I've actually said that DS in the Second World War had a bit of, the back was extended. So we feel that this was probably getting to the end of the Second World War where this was made.
Okay.
Then we have some collection of exercise books from students.
This is
where most of us will cover them.
Yeah.
Just to keep our pages neat. And Ibrahim is interested in the failures, the potentials embedded in their failures or something like that. Because we've all done this one way or the other.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. October 3rd, 2013.
Then we also have some books from libraries. So this is the London Commission's Bulletin, 1962. They are all original documents collected from libraries. Where, like I said earlier, most of these were almost bent. Some pages were torn to do their trading, but he sees that everything has a potential in
1962.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's just assume that he had never taken this. We have archives of these books here.
Land Concessions Bulletin.
So just so that in case you want to venture into research, these books are available. Yeah, you can at least get an idea to start.
Yeah. And I can see the rest of it, the annual estimate 1966-67, Commercial Industrial Bulletin 1974, Gold Coast Gazette Supplement Subsidiary Legislation 1955, External Trade Statistics of Ghana 1969. Wow, 1960 Population Census of Ghana.
Just 3 years after independence.
Parliamentary debates 1969 to 1970. Hey, Charlie, this is Ghana.
Yeah, this is Ghana.
Yes. There's more down here.
Yeah.
Trade report 66 to 68. Ministry of Agriculture Progress Report 1970. Economic and Statistical Bulletin. I know one man who will be very interested in this. Kafui. Kafui will be so interested in this.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
So we have this section as a cover material from a silo in Tamale called the Nkrumah Volume.
Yeah.
So during the construction, we felt that Nkrumah was building an underground tunnel from the northern part to the southern part, where he comes at night to pick us as slaves to go and work down south. But it was meant to store food grains. Even the CIA came into the picture where they thought he was building a nuclear bunker to produce bombs. But it was just meant to store food grains like cocoa, shea nuts, in case we have a lot of harvest. Some of these can be stored there and be sold maybe at a lesser price in the future, so that at least we don't go drought or something like that. Yeah. But he couldn't complete it. And no, our government in Ghana, no one wants to continue from the leftovers of the predecessor. So the structure was left. And then Ibrahim acquired the space in 2021 during the COVID period. And then he cleaned up the space, but he's hoping that the future it will become an open space, just like we have Red Clay and also SEC as well, so that people can visit. Yeah, so these items were gotten from that.
I've seen another thing that is Forts of Ghana.
Yeah.
So he has documents in there, or it's just a box?
Unfortunately, we don't have any documents inside.
Wow.
Probably that one was already torn or bent for his
Ghana survey maps. Wow. Charlie, so far this is the part I love. Okay.
Then we have, in relation with the railway system, the train sleepers that are used to construct the railway
system. These days, these are concrete sleepers.
Yes. Yeah. So we have them dating 100 years, close to 130 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
Then also looking at the evolving of electricity or lighting system, we have the gas lanterns where you need to pump this. So the more you pump, the more brighter it becomes. Here in the north, mostly women carry it on their head for this cultural dance called Sampa.
So you have to be pumping it for the light.
Yes.
Wow.
When you stop, it stays on for a while, but as time goes on, it dims and then eventually goes off. Yeah. So you just need to keep pumping and pumping and pumping.
Wow.
Yeah. Then most of us actually use the kerosene lantern.
Yes.
Yeah.
This glass that is in there, if you don't take care, you do mistake and it breaks. You're in trouble.
You might starve that day. Yeah, we also have some files from factories. Some of them dating to 96, some of them 2000. Just like I said, most of them were almost bent. So,
interesting.
Yeah. And then this here, it's a mask. So the head is an original from the bed, but this is wood. So it's like camouflage for hunters. So they wear this on the head like this, and they usually also put on clothes where they eventually look like birds. It's like that when the birds see them, they think it's one of them. So they come close and then they are able to either catch them or they shoot them.
So you said this is a beak of a bird.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
What kind of bird?
Oh, yeah. So some say it's the hornbill bird or something like that. Yeah. But I said just trying to be sure which kind of bird it is.
Wow.
Because this is used by the Mali people for hunting.
Yeah.
And then if you look up as well, we have cement paper bags. Most of that was used to put up the structure we are seeing here today. Yeah, because sometimes when the cement or the substance is used, the constructors usually convert them into huts.
Yeah.
Where they use that to carry their mortar to serve as shade for them as well. Yeah. We have more books like we saw earlier from libraries as well. And then probably if you could zoom in a bit, we have a bird nest up here. So
that's on top of there.
Yes.
Okay.
It's looking at how Ibrahim built his space. So the architecture was borrowed from there's this locomotive workshop in Sekandi, Takoradi, where it was built by the British. So that's why he borrowed the architecture and decided to put up a studio like that, an open studio, where even the top, the roof and everything is open in a way. Birds get the chance of coming in to actually also make their home, where you not find that in the museum. or a
So
gallery.
that wasn't put there. It was a
No,
bird
no.
that came to
Yeah.
make its home there.
Yeah, we have a lot of bats also stay in the space, and he's interested in all of that because at the end, it's part of his studio. It's part of his way of art.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the bats live here. So
Yeah.
I'm sure by now they are sleeping.
Probably.
Then in the night they go out to explore.
Yeah, we have the propeller engine. Also have an aeroplane.
Oh, okay.
We have the Tomos motorbike, which was established in July 1954. And then this particular company had a branch here in Ghana, where this particular motorbike was fixed here in Ghana.
So this was fixed here in Ghana?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard of this, Thomas bike.
Yeah. Where this is basically like an opposite of what we have today. Yeah, we have the foot kicker at the left hand side, but now it's at the right.
Ah.
Yeah, so this is basically like an opposite of everything that we are using today. Yeah.
Does it work?
Yeah, it works, but the plug was taken out, but it still works. When it was brought earlier, it was started for us to hear the sound. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that ends this part too.
Yes.
Where are we moving to next?
We're moving to the Parliament of Ghosts.
Parliament of Ghosts. I'm so interested in that. Okay. So we'll see when we get there.
So this is called a Parliament of Ghosts. It's actually a building which the architecture was also borrowed from the British Parliament in England. But here, everything is built with bricks. Even the seats are built with bricks. And then
so these are the seats down here.
Yes. So it's in the form of like a theater or the amphitheater, like the Greece or Greek back in the day, where they start to watch battles being fought. But here it's a space that allows everything to be done.
Yeah.
So it's a space where everything is possible as well. So we see.
So what kind of events go on here?
Yeah. So workshops, conferences, lectures. Yeah. Video nights or video shows are usually taking place here.
Okay.
Yeah. But the idea behind the Parliament of Ghosts actually a work he did in Manchester in 2019.
Okay.
And then he eventually brought it down here. After the exhibition, then he put it up here as a permanent structure. But here the ghost is related to some of our forgotten histories or past histories as well. And so looking at the people that have actually helped him to put up this structure, which involved labor or struggles of individuals. So he feels that all of that effort that they helped him to put up this structure still lives in the space as something we can see. It's basically a part of it we are working on today. And it's a part of it that is actually covering our heads, preventing the sunlight from hitting us directly. And that is why he calls it the Parliament of Ghosts. Yeah. So he also relates it to a lot of memories that people have actually come here and they've left. Not like they've died, but he feels that who comes here leaves something behind. At least your presence adds up to the memories that have been here, probably the older ones. Yeah, so that's why he titled the Parliament of Ghosts.
Nice.
But this section is another art piece called the Bed of Dreams.
The Bed of Dreams.
Dreams, yes. So these are bed banks from schools. We collected somewhere in 2015.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have it as shelves used for the cement paper bags. And these bags were actually used to put up this space. So you can imagine how many bags we have here. Yeah. And then, like I said earlier, most of them are converted into the hats.
Yeah.
One on the head.
And they carry the mortar on it. Yeah.
To carry mortar. So it's also talking about labor of individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then some of the sacks we saw earlier, the jute sacks. Where
what is in that one?
Yeah, I think it's part of the material. I think it's a rope or so.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's fixed in a pattern. Yeah.
Oh.
And then we have some very sensitive documents which some of the paperbacks were used to cover. So we have industrial holdings. I think that might be Gihawk.
Yeah.
We have petty cash. Expenses. Yeah. Lacquer
raw material.
So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I think all cement brands in Ghana are represented here.
Yeah.
There's Gassem, there is Diamond, there is Jata.
Yeah.
What else
I think Diamond has moved to the fiber type now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they still produce or bag them in the paper.
Savannah diamond. Nice. Okay, so we are exiting this building now, going into another one. See you then. We have arrived at a different building. So, David, what is this place called?
So it's called Ben Shaibu Hall.
Ben Shaibu Hall.
Yes, it was
Who's
also
Ben Shaibu?
we're supposed to work with Ben Shaibu, but I think the works were not. Let me say, it wasn't accomplished completely. So,
Okay.
but we still named the place after him.
Okay.
But the building is supposed to be an archaeological museum in the future,
Okay.
where a lot of discoveries should be displayed there for us to see.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, we have a work in there by Ibrahim Mahama, which is called a capital corpses. So
Capital.
capital corpses.
Wow. That names are interesting. Oh. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So we have 3 sets of archival materials here.
Okay.
So we have the sewing machines, which were used back then for sewing of clothes, but now because of how evolved the whole world has become, most of these machines have been discarded.
Yeah.
Where he commissioned some scrap dealers to collect for him, which he got about 2,000 of them. But here we have 98 of the machines.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I said, they've lost vital parts of them, so their sounds are not like when they were new or when they were still very much alive. So he sees them as corpses that are not supposed to work. But even though in their dead nature, he has found a way to make them work. And that's why he calls them corpses. The capital there could be related to money or the economy, and also to Tamale as a then capital of the northern region. And also looking at back then, Kuma also built a sewing factory in Kumasi, but it was never, shall I say, used or even realized, so something like that as well. So yeah, now he relates the sounds of the machines to that of some of our daily activities, the equipment we use in our work side, maybe some of our machines like the concrete mixer, let's say a granite mill, probably even the blender or something. Yeah. And then we have these decks with the blackboards, which he wants to remind us of our educational system.
Oh.
Because most of us sat on these ones growing up when we were
Yes.
going to school. Now we have it modified to single table and chair now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to just remind us. And then he actually scarred the desk by putting in the machines. Just like sometimes we write our names or answers to questions on the decks when we are in class. So he also decided to scar it by fixing in the machines. Because these machines also have their own tables in a way. Yeah.
I see wires around. Do they work?
Yes. So they have this scary sound. So
Wow. So you step on that and then wow. This is nice.
yeah, so that
I
is
see.
now the sound of the machine because of how old and rusted, and also because of the fact that they've lost vital part of them. So yeah, we have the last extension of James's work at the back, which talks about the educational system as well, which was introduced by Kwame Nkrumah. Free education after independence. So, yeah, it's actually one of the few pictures he took about education during his work as a photographer here in the country. Yeah.
Nice. And the blackboards.
Yeah. So the blackboards have information from schools. Basically, their last lesson before he collected them. Yeah. So he's interested in that information, and then he replaced them with these white marker boards, so that they can continue whatever they were doing in school. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so a lot of these are recent, 2023.
Yeah. But looking at the scars on them, they're probably older.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the collection was recent.
Yes,
but I mean, these are old. Charlie, memories. This thing brings back a lot of memories because I mean, we used all of this. We used this in school. Wow, I like this place. So nice. So the next place we are going to is where?
We have a warplane from the Second World War, so we'll have a look inside. Then we can end with the trains.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we'll see you then. So now we're at a place that I want to describe as an airport because Charlie, look around. There is so many planes. Yeah. Different shapes and sizes. So David,
Yeah.
what's happening here? What is this place called?
So just like you said, we can call it Ibrahim Mohammed's Airport.
Ah.
But this is uh, a place where these airplanes are used for various purposes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the one just behind me is a warplane from the Second World War.
Wow.
Used to basically fight. But after the war, someone bought it, then reconverted it to a private jet, where it was just his.
Wow.
So he flew from Europe to Ghana, but when he got here, back then the aviation laws didn't allow planes with one engines to work, so he wasn't given license to use it. And then he just left it and was basically living his life in Ghana. And then Ibrahim also saw it in Accra. He bought it, then he brought it all the way here. Yeah. So we actually have access to it, and then we'll see how the interior looks like.
Wow.
But we have one of the planes which is a classroom, which all the seats for the planes were taken off. Then Ibrahim put in chairs and tables just to draw kids inside to actually have workshops with them and something like that.
Wow. Okay. So right now we are going inside the World War II plane that was bought by someone to be used as a private jet to go to Ghana. The laws didn't allow him to fly a plane with a single engine. Oh. Wow. Okay. So this is what the cockpit looks like. Hey. This is interesting. So how long has this been here?
I think about 2 to 3 years.
Wow. Charlie, I'm speechless, man. I don't even know what to say. Nice. So this is all the accommodation, or the back there had space for people to sit in as well?
During the war, the gunner was usually at the back.
Okay.
Where he or she sits to shoot. But later when it was converted, it was just probably the washroom was down there or something. Yeah, before it was brought here, everything was empty.
Wow. But I'm guessing it doesn't work, obviously.
Well, the engine still functions. Just need maybe proper servicing, and then it's just that we can't fly it because of the regulations by the aviation.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have turned it down where planes can actually, with one engine, could be used.
Okay. So which one are we going to next?
So we are going to look at the trains now.
Okay.
So that'll be the last part.
Okay. So these planes, how did they get here? This very one, that one, and the very big one.
So they dismantled the bed, just the wings and tails, and then placed on the low bed trailers.
Okay.
Or this low bed flat bodies or something like that.
Okay.
And then transported from Accra to Tamale.
So what is this one used for? I see an air condition down there.
So it was still, we're trying to work on the side that it becomes something like a stimulator.
Okay.
where kids can actually have a feel of being inside an aeroplane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think that has been put on hold, or probably he has changed
It's mine.
his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But actually, these planes are here first of all to solve the issues of with the local people, because
Okay.
most of us have not been on a flight before.
Yes. Yeah.
We've not seen the aeroplane
True.
this close before.
Yeah. And this one,
Mm,
I think it's a Starbull.
yes, the Starbull.
What's the story behind it?
So, back then when Starbull was working here in Ghana, they had a lot of complaints. It, should I say, let me say, it drank a lot of fuel or consumed a lot of fuel back then. So they had to reduce that. Where at a point, some of their airplanes had a lot of accidents where they lost trust in their customers or something like that. So at a point, some of them were bought by individuals. I think there was one, I don't know if it's this, but it was owned by Haji or so in Kumasi. There was one Starbull that was still owned by Starbull company. Yeah. And then others were just scrapped. Yeah. And then he bought it so that he can use it for a different idea or something like that here in Tamale.
Okay. So now we are heading to the trains.
Yeah. So we have the trains from Takrade.
Okay.
Also transported with the low bed trailers.
Okay.
Yeah. So these ones came last year. We have the blue one over there, which came, I think that was in July, last month or so.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one that just came this month. It's at the other side, the red and yellow. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. At the front.
So that one, is still very intact. We just need some few parts of it, and then that is actually going to start working in the future.
Oh, so you said there's a plan to have a moving train here.
Yes. So this railway system will be extended across the space.
Okay.
Where you can actually use it. Sorry, where to actually be working, at least for the first time ever in the northern part of the country. Yeah. But he has taken off all the seats for these coaches, and then he will use them as accommodation, classrooms.
Okay.
Some might even become recording studios as well. Yeah. So it's still something he's working on. So we're hoping in the future, at least everything will be set. Yeah.
Oh.
So we can have a look inside.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just that there's a caution that passengers without tickets will be penalized or something. But I think because we are working here, we have the right to go inside without the.
Okay, so we're going up.
It's a bit messy because it's still under construction. So yeah.
So this is what it looks on the inside. All the seats are gone.
Yeah, all the seats. But the plates for the floor was replaced with new ones.
Okay.
Where probably in the future the older ones will be used as artworks.
Yeah. Nice. Let's see that notice. That notice that says if we don't have tickets.
So it's over there. Yeah.
Okay. Notice. Passengers are to know that it is an offense to travel on a train without a ticket. Passengers must obtain their tickets from the station master before boarding the train. Any passenger found on a train without a ticket will be arrested, surcharged, and prosecuted by Ghana Railway Corporation. Nice. I see. So, which part of it this is original material? Can you point me to?
Original material.
Yeah.
All of this came with it.
Wow.
Nothing was taken out. I said aside the leathers in the trains. All of these was brought from Takrade like that. Yeah, because most of them were not functioning anymore. So anyone can actually go inside, pick out anything he or she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this where we end our tour?
Yeah, so there's an exit here.
Okay.
You wash your head. Sure. Then the washroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
This washroom has seen better days. I see.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So This is where we end our tour. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.